again, welcome to the AM show. Thank you as always for being part of the show. Here's how we start the show today. So yesterday I asked you to post a comment on our page and promised to read some. Sorry I didn't keep my word, but I made time to go read your comments. It was mainly about you guys going crazy gaga over Enimwa. Anyway, you can go read some of the comments for yourself. That's just by the way. Now, on today's show, we're talking about cardiovascular diseases or heart diseases, which we're learning remains the world's #1 killer, resulting in 18.6 million deaths a year. It has many causes, from smoking, diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity, to air pollution. For the 520 million people living with CVD, COVID-19 has made things a lot worse, as they have been more at risk of developing severe forms of the virus. And then in addition to that, many have been afraid to attend routine emergency appointments and have become isolated from friends and family. How do you handle your heart in a delicate situation such as COVID-19 pandemic? On Healthy Thursday, we see answers from cardiologist Dr. Joseph Akama. Let us have your questions. Now, also on the show today, we're hosting Nigeria's bad boy. I'm not sure if he likes being called that, though. I'm going to ask him. Jim Ike is our guest on the AM show. Get ready to interact with him. Now, the third Millie Clinic of the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fest taking place at the Junction Mall this weekend. And we're hosting roofing experts, DBS, later on the show. We'll tell you why you need their roof on your building. Do stay tuned in. I'm Mr. Lai, and I'll be doing this with Enimwa Enimado, the Adorable. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the AM News here on the AM Show. Our very first story, family of the late Ibrahim Mohammed, known popularly as Kaka Macho, has described as Sakawa the work and subsequent release of reports by the Ejura Committee of Inquiry. The family feels betrayed by the Justice Kumsin Committee, accusing members of working for their parochial interest. Family spokesperson Abdul Nafiu Mohammed is of the view the committee was mischievous in its recommendations and conclusion. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
This is Sakawa work. We don't say shoddy work, we say Sakawa work. So we generally, I call it as a political engineered report.
What we want as a family, we want justice to be done. And this justice we are asking for is to bring those perpetrators into book, judge them, punish them, so that it will serve a lesson to others.
The three-member committee in its report concluded that the social media activism of Kaka was not connected to his death. According to the report, Kaka's death was more related to a family feud. But family spokesperson Abdul Nafiu Mohammed says the committee betrayed the trust of the family.
They betrayed the trust of the family because they made us to understand that they are not going to concentrate on the criminality aspect of the case. And they end up doing that. That is Sakawa. That's the term I use for. They have betrayed the trust of the family. Because after telling us that they are not going to do criminal investigation concerning the family, and they end up doing that, even trying to castigate all the blames on the family, instead of them to emphasize their reports on the unprofessionalism of the military and the police.
The family head of late Abdel Nasir Yusuf, Abdullah Abubakar, says the family is not appealing for money as compensation, but rather wants to see justice served.
Justice we need. Who killed our brother? They have to bring the person. Then he has to explain to Ghanaians why they killed him. Why do they use live bullets? Knowing very that they were demonstrating for their right. It's their constitutional right to demonstrate when something is going wrong.
This the family, we have put ourselves together. We have started discussing with our lawyers. We are doing everything humanly possible. And at the right time, we will bring our communique. He who needs to be sued, if it is a right thing, we will do that. And he who has lied to the family, we will take the family's dignity through a court process. So this is what we are doing now.
A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Well, if you live in Accra, then this is for you. Wherever you want to rent or build, a simple mobile app can tell you the risk of flooding in the area. It's an app built by the Ghana Meteorological Agency to help people in the capital to stay safe whenever it rains. More in this report.
This app is basically to help us know, prepare ourselves in terms of any flood event within our community. And it also gives you weather forecast on estimated rainfall that has the potential of causing this flood or hazard within your community. And the name of the app is My Flood Risk Accra app. And this can easily be downloaded for Android or on an Apple phone. You can easily do that from a Play Store. So in this app, we have two sessions basically, which tells you about water level within your community, whether you are at a high risk, low risk, or moderate risk, depending on the impact, and then your community, the community especially, whether you are a flood-prone zone, you can be able to determine this water level there. And this water level is informed by the weather forecast that is issued, based on the estimated amount of rainfall expected over your community. So this forecast is issued 3 times daily from 6 a.m. in the morning, then we update in the afternoon, and also for the evening. If we expect any higher rainfall that will cause flood more than expected, we could also update that at any time that the weather is expected to cause that event. For the start, it just covers 3 parts within the Greater Accra area, which is Gan East, Gan West, and AMA. So these are the areas that this app covers for now. So anybody traveling to the city, especially to these communities, can access this information. Aside getting the water level information for potential flood, as well as the estimated weather forecast, it can also help you to have preventive measures or tips on flood in general. So you cannot only just use it for that, just assessing water level and flood or rainfall forecast, but you can also use it to learn more about flood information in general. So teachers can also use this app to teach their students. There are graphic information, infographic information in there that makes learning easier. Also for emergency contact in the case of flood activities, where to contact, especially like NADMO, fire service, police service, the ambulance. They also have their contacts in there, so people can also fall on there to call on them or reach them. Yeah.
What about those with young phones?
For now, those who use YAM or feature phones are not directly covered, but we've not forgotten them. There's another system that we are also working on, that is the weather information dissemination system, which has the audio aspect, so they could listen to the forecast in local languages. It's still being worked on, and if it's completed, we will surely alert the public on.
One of the problems with domestic electric pressing irons is that they can cause fire if they are left plugged in for a prolonged amount of time. During this period, the iron still consumes power, raising total energy consumption. However, students from the Department of Physics at the KNUST have designed a low-cost socket adapter which has the ability to turn off the pressing iron after a predetermined time set by the user elapses. On Tech Thursday, Love FM's Kwesi Deborah speaks with the students. Apologies for that, and we will bring you the story later. Now let's move on to the Ghana Police Service, and as part of their effort to enhance development in IT, have refurbished the National Police Training School IT classrooms and the Police Academy IT laboratory. The project was funded by the German Federal Foreign Office and is amongst many others under the police program to build and strengthen police structures in selected partner countries in Africa. At a handing over ceremony, Director General of the Legal and Prosecution Department, COP Nathan Boachi, expressed gratitude to the German Embassy for funding the initiative.
Today is another milestone in our relationship. It is instructive to know that ICT is the drive of development in this era. Therefore, the police administration is pleased that we have gathered here today to witness the official handover of 2, not 1, 2 refurbished IT-equipped classrooms for the training of recruits in ICT and equipped computer lab at Training Academy for training of our would-be police officers. The police administration is very grateful to GIZ for the 57 computers, 6-in-1 workstations, the refurbished classrooms, the provision of 2 whiteboards, and the relevant books relating to the 3 thematic areas of cooperation. The support of GIZ is in line with efforts the police administration is making to reform the existing training system to produce well-trained officers whose capacity is enhanced through their research and administrative skills, and also help in fighting cyber fraud. It is the hope of the police administration that this cooperation will be deepened, and it is envisaged that this program will be extended. Your Excellency, we know we have another 2 years, and we hope that this program will be extended so that all uncompleted projects will be completed.
A dark, stuffy, and tiny room with no ventilation. That's the condition of the only mill at the June 4 yard in Agbebloshi Market, where scores of food hawkers cook. The 2-square-meter room does not only receive raw vegetables and other grains for milling, but also has droppings of 2 pigeons kept in a rusted cage, falling off, sometimes into the mill dough. AMA officials shut down the mill, which is sited in the middle of the yard where most foods meant to be sold in the central business district are cooked. Joy Clean Ghana's Manuel Kranting reports.
Today on this episode of Joy Clean Ghana campaign, we're back at the Agbebloshi Market. Now, have you wondered if you bought wachi on the road, if you bought rice on the road, if you bought, any meal that you might have bought from a vendor who was hawking, most likely would have come from this place. And so we're here this morning to try and assess the conditions under which they cook this food for public consumption, because there are hundreds if not thousands of people whose daily meal are cooked from here. So where are you beginning from? Okay, we're beginning from here.
Start from this woman. Okay. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
How are you? You remember no I? Aja Mbachopra.
So Mr. Korea is just summoning the owner of this particular spot.
You're from Gordon, from AMA. Who your friend was I?
Zainab.
Your friend was I? Zainab. Who nipa hina odi ejumawa? Oni nipa hina ejumawa? 2. Good. Oni nyina wo AMA karata no ama otumi say ye todu ni manipa no wo bi. Wo ankasa wo bi.
Ya ye bi ba se awu ana se den.
Awu. Adanti na wo nkoye runiwa.
Ni nyame koy. Ana se ana me ba.
Wo ankasa wo ni bi, so it means that nkwara no so mu ni bi. And secondly, baby, we are Jumanu, who say gata bi waha, who ni a pata waha, so that at least ubetima cover, so that once I am back inside. That's Uko Hospital as I are any door so. Any sickness, Unya wo duania, ye baby, ye prepare duaninu, or Hanya fire, now you sika akoto duania. Abama we are. What you say? Say baby, I will do any no air and answer. One got a catcher, baby, I only do any. So that's no. And no answer. If in the first place, who need to me say, over here do any with that AMA character? Who need be? They say driving license. Who could a car? Now who need driving license? Police stop who say driving license over here. Over Kaza. On by you. So, in the first, when I'm out, I say, but told you any but near do any. Or one cousin or sorry, over here would do Jumawa. When I'm out to me. Catch her. When I'm sure.
What about our own Casa? I know Casa.
Miss one in on a woman, you know.
Boom away. Mano. Mother.
She's just pointing us to somebody who she says is a caretaker here.
I am not credit. There were so many years into many Simo Kaya, into Mabakacho or Mose. Fono, say, Sisiana, Ghana, I am not credit, a boy, and nim card koya card we no so baby owner then so ye hot need by all means amobeba suspect be mo ye because mo ye do na ye didi yes sir I didn't know yare de eba more enti mababa catch money na beginnings and mo so mo ye de mo buy no.
This is where they mill the tomatoes.
The tomatoes, pepper, and mbajo biesu.
We'll come back to this. So we're gonna go and see the mill. So this is a corn mill. This is a tomato mill.
How are you? Can you off your machine so that we can talk? So what do you do here?
Okay, I am done pepper and.
Come again.
I am pepper and tomatoes.
Pepper and tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it? Is it pepper or is tomato?
This one is what?
The cassava.
Cassava.
Yeah.
Oh, then add cassava to it. It's not only pepper and tomatoes. You are granted cassava at the time of our inspection. Now, look at this place. When was the last time you tidy up this place? You cleaned this place? When was the last time you cleaned here? Tell us.
Okay, maybe last week Sunday I cleaned here.
Last week Sunday.
Yeah.
Look at the ground. You're supposed to tile here, do concrete, and tile this place so that the place will be nice.
You see?
I'm the master. You are the master. Oh, then it's good.
Officer, please come here.
Oh, what is even this? What is this?
It's a bed.
It's a bed.
Yeah.
So it's a cage for what? Beds.
And look at their droppings, their feces.
No, it'll be maize.
Maize you give them?
Yeah, be run away,
no,
come down.
This is food house. You are not supposed to rear animals in food house. This is a kitchen. Don't you know that it will bring about contamination? Hmm? So we'll close you down. You renovate the place nicely before we allow you to operate. Yes. So you remove the head of the so we'll take it to the office. Anytime you renovate the place to our satisfaction, then we'll release the head for you. The officer who is here at least has been doing his best to ensure that there is sanity in this place. Sometimes we do come to do, a screen up exercise for them, you understand? And looking at the conditions here, for me, for the first time, I think that there's a need for us to close down the place temporarily for the owner to ensure that they renovate the place, because I realize that the owner is using it as a business venture.
Well, and that's it for the AM News here on the AM show. Coming up next is the news review. Don't go anywhere. Well, good morning there. Hello. If you're just tuning in, this is the AM show. My name is Enima Enimado, and I'm doing this with the
Israelite.
Yes, the Israelite. And we have a fantastic show for you today. Israel will be telling you all about it a little later on. But we're going to get into the newspapers this morning.
Okay.
And maybe this morning I'm going to start with the Ghanaian Times.
All right.
And let's see what's in the newspapers. Please feel free to interject.
No, please, give us as much detail as you can. I'm not saying read the whole newspaper, but yeah.
But yeah, okay. Anyway.
Be kind to us.
Yes,
those who can't afford to buy the newspapers, they tune in.
Yes, please. Okay. So on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, heavy rains cut off 46 communities in BR. Bono region. Bridge washed away. It took me a minute to, because I was remembering the 10 regions.
Okay.
And there was no B, was in the old 10, whatever. Anyway.
It was BA.
Yeah, wrong I have, exactly. But the 16, we are old, it takes us a while. Bridge washed away.
You that you're old?
It takes us a while to remember some things.
Old as a grandma?
Yes, bridge washed away, whatever. Bridge washed away, essential services inaccessible to residents. Police gunned down 2 armed robbers. 2021 National Farmers Day launched in Accra. Aid to Owusu Bempa arrested for illegal possession of arms. And 396 suspected criminals grabbed in the Ashanti region. 792 motorcycles impounded. Okay. So what are you interested in? Let me see. So the police have arrested an aide to Reverend Isaac Owusu Bempa, who's the head pastor of Glorious Word Power Ministries, for allegedly possessing a gun without authority. We talked about that yesterday. Was it yesterday? We mentioned the illegal proliferation of arms. So yeah, Nigeria police arrest dozens from banned Shia group. WHO is horrified over sexual exploitation by aid workers in the DRC. So World Health Organization staff were among 83 aid workers who sexually abused women and girls while tackling the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a report finds. The abuses, which includes 9 allegations of rape, were committed by both national and international workers between 2018 and 2020. I mean, how do you go to a country to help them in a difficult season or in a difficult moment and then go and abuse, women and children? It's just ghastly and downright demonic, honestly. Generals advised Biden against Afghan pullout. North Korea fires new hypersonic missile. Hey, North Korea and South Korea, they are not joking, no. Charlie, they've tested a new hypersonic, I don't even know what a hypersonic missile is, called Hwa.
Like extremely fast.
Okay. So HWA, if you're in Ghanaian local, the Shasong. I doubt it's called the Shasong AIDS. On Tuesday, Hwasong, maybe? Anyway, so apparently this new missile is one of the 5 most important new weapon systems laid out in its 5-year military development plan. Who are they going to fight? Who are they planning on fighting?
Yeah, they're letting you know that anybody who dares, we're going to deal with you.
Wow.
You come play with us.
Okay. So yesterday...
That way, if you feel threatened enough, if they ask you for something, you give them.
You'll give it to them. So yesterday was World Heart Day, using digital tools to improve to get a healthy heart. So happy Heart Day, and take care of your heart, physically, spiritually, emotionally, everything. We'll deal with armed robbery. COP Boache has been speaking. So the police have assured the international community and their citizenry of the readiness to deal with recent armed robberies in some parts of the country. And I absolutely, let me just take a minute to really commend the police. You guys are doing such a great job. They're patrolling.
The visibility.
Yes, they're actually being very nice. So like I said, I've been stopped very often, but they're very civil. They'll search my car and all of that, but they're not intimidating. They're not shouting, and they'll always ask, do you live around here? Are you okay? Are you sick? And it's nice, it's very nice.
But you don't like the part where they say go into your house?
Except when they tell me to go. Some old policeman, he passes by the house every. Once you go inside the house, anyway, I need to find his name so that I can. But you guys are doing a great job, so thank you for looking out for us. Citizenry tasked to continuously build democratic institutions. Okay, so governance experts expresses misgivings over acquisition of the new presidential jet. Now that has been on social media, people are really talking about it. Eugene Ahin, Director of Communications at the Presidency, told us that they were in the process of looking or acquiring or whatever of a new presidential jet, because the current one is old and it has to stop a number of times and it can only take a certain number of people. And they're not going to listen to our opinion on it anyway, so there's kind of no point getting riled up about it.
Maybe if we talk loud enough.
Oh, I doubt.
We hear a lot more people talk about it.
Yeah, maybe. Heavy rains cut off 46 communities in Bono region. Bridge washed away. Essential services not accessible to residents. We've done this story in so many different forms over the past 3 weeks. There was the Upper East region. There was another place in the Northern region, and then again in the Upper East region, and then now in the Bono region. And the effects of storms still, and how it just stops people's lives. A bridge is washed away. Essential services not accessible to residents just because it rained, So they're going to go and fix it, yes, but can we fix it in a sustainable way so that we're not having to fix it every year? Anyway. Justice Jamefe expresses concern over lack of CCTV cameras in court. Okay. 700,000 refurbished 20-bed capacity orthopedic ward inaugurated at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. There's still a lot of news about the MDAs and MMDCEs and all of that, just trying to get them to settle so that they can go to work. Okay. NCCE calls for coexistence among communities in Ghana. Minister, Ussd to commercialize its research innovations. South Africa Airways relaunches operations in Ghana. That's interesting. SNIT Saturday services to bring convenience to members. Something interesting, the gold price has dropped over 1%. So they've hit a 7-week low yesterday as the dollar strengthened and U.S. Treasury yields surged on expectation of sooner than expected hike in interest rates by the Federal Reserve. So oil prices also have gone up above $80 for the first time in 3 years. Let's get into some sports. Gold Stars get kids sponsorship deal. Powerlifting star honored at 7th WISA Award. I think, Israel, you'll be very good at powerlifting.
Really?
Yes. And I think that you should prove to us that you can powerlift by trying to carry me.
I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that.
You look like, okay, all right. Oh, well, a girl can only offer.
I mean, I can
Beat
try.
me at
I can try it off air if it works.
If it works, yeah, but you can't.
Yeah.
Okay. We created a miracle. Sheriff Boss says after a stunning reel. Okay. Superstar Pakayo retires from boxing. Oh. Yeah, but he is, going to stand for president, so that should be interesting. GTTA launches Talent Meets Opportunity. Asogli 2021 tennis tourney, I guess that's short for tournament, ends in Ho. And on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, 2021 Farmers' Day launched in Accra to be held in the Central Region. And Forum slams award of oil gas projects without community involvement. That's it for the Ghanaian Times.
All right, let's go to the Daily Graphic. And on the front page, BOG buys first gold in 60 years, plans to purchase 540 kilograms with 200 million cedis in 2021. Now, we brought you that story. It was in the Ghanaian Times yesterday. So, yes, that is the same story that's being reported in the Daily Graphic. And then make health facilities audit report public, minority challenges government. And Nigerian airstrike kills civilians. That's on page 5. We moved into the pages. Ethiopia crisis stain on our conscience. That's a UN saying that. Guinea junta unveils transition plan. That's also running in some of the newspapers yesterday. Tunisia president names female prime minister. G20 to meet on Afghanistan October 12, and Lebanese families protest probe suspension. Greens FDP meet for preliminary talks. That has to do with the German election. So there's the party that came in first and the party that came in second. Now the party that came in third and fourth, they're meeting to see which of the two they would move into a coalition with. Trapped Canadian miners rescued. It's a very good news story. So all 39 miners trapped deep underground in central Canada have been brought to the surface 3 days after an accident damaged the mine's lift. And then on page 16, there's an opinion piece. It says unemployment at lowest in 30 years.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, he goes on to cite statistics from the International Labour Organization. It says, according to the ILO, the unemployment rate as captured by economicstrading.com. Okay, economicstrading.com. I don't know. Well, has averaged 6.17% in the last 30 years in the Fourth Republic and currently stands at about 4.53% in 2020. And it goes into the trend analysis. The trend analysis of the unemployment rates in the Fourth Republic since 1991 reveals a steady rise in the unemployment rate from 4.66% in 1991 to a peak level of 10.4% in 2000 during the Rawlings regime. It began to decline to level off at 4.79% in 2008 under the Kufuor regime. The rate began to rise again under the Atta Mills government to peak at 5.93% in 2012 and continued its upward trend to a new high of 6.81% in 2015 under the Mahama government. And then the rising trend witnessed a reversal under Nana Ado's government to reach the lowest rate of 4.12% in 2019 before leveling off at 4.53% in the COVID-19 year of 2020. So yes, I mean, this is what they're saying. They're picking from economicstrading.com. But I'm not sure about we having unemployment figures in this country.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about that.
So I'm completely...
I mean, unless it's an estimate based on something. You
Yeah.
know, but I'm not, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Gender issues, curbing child marriage, shared responsibility. So around the world, 650 million girls and women alive today were married before they were 18. Okay, that's a lot of women to be married. Then we move to page 16. There's a story on the front page, Accra Tema, motorway potholes patched up. So you have a photo here of what they used to be and what it is now. Now, the concern that has come up a lot of the time is that when we patch these things, when we patch them with bitumen instead of the concrete that the road is made of, it doesn't take very long for it to come off again. So, well, we're looking forward to the rehabilitation of the entire motorway and expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can have a road that's going to last for us a lot longer. 5 MDCEs sail through in Ashanti Eastern regions. Central Regional Minister consoles Benua Doe's family. And I have an issue here with the photograph. You know, I've been talking about how when they take photographs and they don't ask people to look in the same camera at the same time. You see? So, yeah. You see that there's some looking in another direction there.
There's some, yeah.
So please, the photographers, if you're taking photos, just ask the people to look in your camera.
We are very, very, very sorry.
Get everybody to look in your camera. Then, Kaka's family has no right to question our work. That's Dr. Vladimir Chidanso saying that. He says they do not have the right to question us because they did not send us. We did the best of work and we do not owe anyone an apology. So the people are also saying that, yes, we did not send you, but who asked you to stray into our matters?
Oh, wow.
I mean, but yeah, that's the point that they're making, that wasn't part of the ambit. They were not supposed to look into the issues of Kaka. So why did they make those definitive and conclusive statements about Kaka, the issue being a family feud? Then on page 20, make health facilities audit report public, minority challenges government. Then part of $1.5 billion cocoa loan hits BOG's account next week. And Silver Star to assemble Peugeot cars in Ghana.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay. So we're having.
For those who don't know what Peugeot is, we mean Peugeot.
Yeah, Peugeot.
Right, I know.
And then don't look for a job, create one. That's Joe Garte to UPSA students. He said, it should be said that if our fathers gave us political independence, this generation has given us economic independence. All right. Then we go to the center spread. National Farmers Day to be held in Cape Coast, December 3. CJ calls for more resources to facilitate justice delivery. That's a Chief Justice. And then PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, is worried about abandoned projects. The minority has actually been expressing concerns about all of that. Azuma Nelson's career holds lessons for business success, FBN Bank, saying that. Government pumps $1 billion into TVETs. Dr. Asamoah, the acting Director General of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education, saying that Bando Gaja, Queen Mother makes education top priority. Tightening measures to check system fraud, BOG urges financial institution. And we go to page 34, innovation now a must for entrepreneurs. Ghana Employers Association boss saying that. And then on page 35, we have how to register your SIM card. Okay, so this is stage 1, linking your SIM card to Ghana card via Ussd. So, we're going to start the re-registration of SIM cards from October 1. And so, if...
October 1 of this year?
Yeah, so tomorrow, essentially.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
Do you have have you done your Ghana card?
Yeah, I have my Ghana card.
Oh, boy.
So, there's a process where...
So, for those of us who don't have our Ghana cards, what are we supposed to do?
Go get it.
Where?
You can go to National Identification Authority. At some point, they were in the GRA offices to do something. I don't know if they're still there, but yes, go get it. Okay, so if you follow the process and you're done with that, then you can go to stage 2. You can visit the service provider for stage 2, which I believe will be a lot easier. And the relevance of tax documentation in tax assessments, that's a piece here. And we move to page 38, poor WASI performance in 7 regions, national conference to address issue in November. And then there's a story on the graphic showbiz segment here in the Daily Graphic. It says, "Don't Dare Us, Film Classification Committee to GIBA." So it looks like the Film Classification Committee and the Ghana Independent Brokers Association are on a collision course of explicit content on television. Earlier this year, the FCC decided to enforce the provisions in the Development and Classification of Film Act 935 to regulate content shown on TV. According to chairman of the committee, Socrates Safo, although there was an agreement with GIBA to ensure that TV stations did in-house regulation of their content, that had not been the case. And speaking with Graphic Showbiz last Monday, Socrates Safo said, "We agreed with GIBA that there should be a period when the TV stations will do an in-house regulation of the system. We thought it wise to do it with the media houses. GIBA is not monitoring its members as we agreed on. There's a lot of content out there that is not supposed to be on air." An example is Black Sheriff's first and second sermons being shown on TV. Per the guidelines, we don't see why they are showing at peak time. We have called the attention of the TV stations, even though we are being a bit flexible for starters. Okay, so apparently they have a problem with that being shown. And then TV goes beyond glitz glamour. That's Lily Mohammed. Lily Mohammed is a presenter with EIB. In sports, GBA lifts ban on Kome, and unlicensed coaches HOTS can't handle clubs. So the GFA says they can't handle clubs. Hazaka's ladies face Egypt, Mali, Equatorial Guinea challenge. And on the back page, Valco Trust Fund builds KG block for Faith Copper DA, and rabies cases rising. That's it for the Daily Graphic.
Okay. Just a few minutes more, so let me do the daily guide quickly. A dry report, Kaka witnesses lied. Judges, magistrates cry over allowance. 2 robbers killed, 4 escape, 1 grabbed. Okay, let me go to the story that caught my attention. So the police have grabbed, it's on page 7. The police have grabbed 792 bikes in 3 days. The Ashanti Regional Police Command have impounded a staggering 792 motorbikes in just 3 days. This follows a major swoop conducted by the police in the 15 police divisions in the region from Saturday to Tuesday, so September 25th to September 28th. 792 bikes in 3 days. I'm not sure if you noticed when you were driving around over the weekend, I think Monday, Tuesday, so the same thing was going on in Accra.
Yeah.
So you noticed that, they were stopping these, motorbikes and stuff. And it's really because the bikes are not registered and the drivers don't have the licenses.
I saw one in such incident yesterday, or one operations yesterday around the Gold House traffic light. I think they call it Kaukudi.
Yeah, Kaukudi traffic light. Yeah. So, I mean, great stuff, because honestly, the motorbike riders are really most of them, a major nuisance. Yeah. Major, and it understands. It makes sense. I mean, if your motor is not registered and you don't have a license, then obviously you're in a hurry to wherever you're going because you don't want to be caught.
You do whatever you
just do, run through traffic lights, go on the left, go on the right. Yes, it is just. Anyway, let me do some entertainment quickly. So Shatta Wale has been speaking. I'll buy bulletproof. So I think Shatta Wale and Kanye West are soulmates because Kanye West released an album and then he took the album back, sort of, removed some people from the album, Chris Brown and then re-released it. It's like, I won't do it again. I'll sing my own song. It's Social Sawale. I'm convinced they are soulmates. But that's what he's been saying. James Bond. The name is James Bond.
The name is James Bond.
There you go. So the new James Bond movie is out on October 8th. It's Daniel Craig's fifth and final James Bond film. It's called No Time to Die, and it's gotten such great reviews. Apparently it's fantastic. Fast-paced action, romance, everything that we love about James Bond movies. So make a date to watch it. Don't download it illegally. Don't. Cafe. God is watching you. Don't do that. So yeah, I think those were the things I wanted to talk about. Kwabena is going to hold an album listening party on October 17th in Kumasi. All right. And on the back page of the Daily Guide, no fans for Zimbabwe, Ghana clash. So Ghana's Black Stars clash with their Zimbabwean counterparts in Harare, but it'll be played behind closed doors. That's the latest decision by the Confederation of African Football. Messi opens PSG account. Oh, Messi.
Well, he
all right.
goal he scored yesterday.
Yes.
The Champions League.
Yeah, I love that. Opens PSG account. And that's about it. That's it for the Daily Guide.
Okay, so we haven't reviewed the Chronicle in a while, so we have it, and I'm going to go through it. The Chronicle on the front page, Kumasi enmeshed in filth as Zoomlion fails to evacuate waste. That's a lot of waste we can see there. You know, it's a far cry from what we saw in Carnation. You know, so it just needs to be lifted. Okay.
Yeah.
Suspects in free-for-all fight with police. Okay. And then also on the front page of the Chronicle, police declare war on robbers. Another 2 gunned down. And KMA in deep trouble over 50 million cedi debt. Court orders attachment of Office complex. Okay. And there's more photos of the field in Kumasi on page 2. And truck runs over policeman. Ooh, ouch. That's so terrible. Okay, and then market women urged to vacate unauthorized selling places. That would be about it. Okay, so lawyers use BOG over dormant account policy. And yeah, that'll be it for me, for the Chronicle. Quickly, the business finder, Ghana will have food in abundance next year. Dr. Akoto, who's the Agric Minister, saying that. After more awareness, key private sector diaspora and academia must team up. And National Development Bank, critical to economic recovery process. All right. That's it for me.
All right, okay. So let's go to myjoyonline.com really quickly. We only have about a minute before 7, and Oreku will be joining us with the sports. All right, Health Minister is best to provide answers on uncompleted health facilities. That's according to Dr. Yao Efriye. Okay, so other stories? Okay,
Special Prosecutor to begin rolling out corruption cases in October. New bungalows for judges of structural defects. Justice Jamafe saying that, and the justices and magistrates, they've been really, yesterday they were complaining bitterly about their relocation and all of that, and the new place they've sent them to, planes flying over and the buildings shaking and all.
Oh gosh.
Government is being wicked, Minta Kando, on abandoned health projects. I'm coming for you, Special Prosecutor to returning officers who forge results. Okay, which returning officers are these? Are these election? Okay. We need more local rice to meet demand, Efriye Akoto. Ghana has only 67% of its needed health workers, research reveals. Armed robbery not on the rise, ACP Kwesi Fori, and current access to justice cannot happen in any civilized country, Chief Justice. Okay. All right, so that'll be it for my Joy Online.
Okay, so do you want to just run us quickly through what we can expect this morning?
So we're going to be talking about the heart. So yesterday was World Heart Day, but then we're having a conversation about how, because of COVID-19, the situation has become a lot worse for the many people who are living with cardiovascular disease, because they can't go to the hospitals and and they also, because of the underlying conditions, essentially, we know that COVID-19 makes people who have underlying conditions, the situation a lot more scary when it comes to when they contract COVID-19.
Okay.
So we're going to have a conversation on how do you live with it and how you can protect yourself and what all the right things that you need to be doing. So we'll have that conversation. And then Nigeria's bad boy, Jim Ike, is in the studio. And Jim Ike is coming into the studio, he being a bad boy, and Nima being so adorable, I don't know. But yeah, he's coming into the studio. And we're going to have a conversation with him. Why?
Nothing.
Okay. So we're going to have a conversation with Jim Ike and ask him. In fact, we're asking you to join us with your questions as well.
On Facebook, we'll put up the post and then...
Yeah. So join us with your questions.
Yeah.
And then we may just make it possible for you to speak with Jim Ike directly.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, by Zoom.
Yeah,
so,
that would
be on the lookout for that. Now, then another thing that came up, I had a conversation, I saw this interview where Davido is speaking to Trevor Noah, and he talked about how Nigerians in the diaspora have supported their craft and made Nigerian music huge.
Yeah.
Okay? And he has something to say. Let's play a bit of that video and brings up a
I'm trying to recover from Davido's American accent.
Oh.
Now, wow.
But he's schooled in the US.
He didn't have an accent when he started singing.
Oh. Okay. But yes, the conversation is...
Yo!
So I posted this on Facebook, and I'm getting quite some interesting reactions.
Okay.
You know, is it the case? Is this really the secret to the
Nigerian success?
The Nigerian success.
The support of.
Or
are they just better at marketing themselves and branding and the quality of their work?
That there's a whole lot of them. We can't ignore them.
Yeah.
And so if there's a whole lot of them, they're out there and they're making requests for.
Their songs to be,
Essentially, I feel, because there's a whole lot of them, they support the industry. The country is able to support the industry. Or the economy is able to support the industry.
Even just by the sheer numbers.
Yeah. But yes, it's a conversation we're going to have a lot later on.
With Davido, maybe.
Yeah, we'll seek your views. We're not having a conversation with
I'm just saying, you never know. Anyway, it's a Jim Ike kind of Thursday. We're super excited about that. So, fantastic show coming up. But sports is coming up next, so don't go anywhere.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the AM Sports with me, Riku Ampofo. We do start off from the Ghana Premier League, and we are just 29 days away from kickoff. And in what can be described as a worrying development, only 4 match venues are currently fit for purpose. Now, this report from the Club Licensing Committee of the Ghana Football Association, which announced its decisions on match venues submitted by Premier League clubs with respect to the infrastructure criteria on Tuesday evening. Here's a Joy Sports report with more.
Were taken based on reports received from the club licensing manager from the inspection visits across the various venues. The club licensing committee was not satisfied with the reports of all the venues submitted. However, 4 venues, namely Wafa Park, Aliyu Mahama Stadium, Cape Coast, and the Lenkley Stadium, have been granted conditional approval pending the correction and or defects as stated in the inspection reports by October 18, 2021. Meanwhile, 15 clubs have had their main venues conditionally rejected pending a re-inspection to ascertain the status of recommendations as instructed in the decisions of the Club Licensing Committee. The Club Licensing Committee shall be making final decisions on the venues after the inspection on October 18, 2021. The decisions on the match venues shall be final for the period of the first round. The Club Licensing Committee shall only review decisions of the match venues to update the venue list before the start of the second round.
Now, in what is a surprising turn of events, the recently renovated Babayara Sports Stadium in Kumasi is actually one of the venues which has not been approved by the club licensing committee. And Kotoko is one of 3 clubs in Kumasi who would use the stadium as their home venue next season. According to Love FM's Steve Zando, fans of the club are not happy with the decision of the GFA club licensing committee.
You know, it's not only the Kumasi Babayara Sports Stadium that was conditionally rejected. Accra Sports Stadium too was rejected. Some supporters have told me that they are surprised with the decision of the club licensing department because this is the Accra Sports Stadium that hosted Accra the Folk against CI Council of Guinea in the CAF Champions League. So if CAF approved the venue to host a CAF Champions League match, why not the Ghana Premier League? And of course, some of the supporters have also been telling me that they feel the NSA and as it were, the contractor did not really do a good job based on the release from the Ghana Football Association. But I think that the communique was not detailed enough, and that is why some of the supporters are worried. I think the GFA could have done us a lot of good if they had actually released the reason why they have rejected the Babayara Sports Stadium, especially to host matches here in the Ghana Premier League. So some of the supporters are not really worried because they feel that once CAF approved the Accra Sports Stadium to host CAF Champions League, it will mean that there's something wrong with the inspection that the GFA themselves did, and some also have expressed worry. And actually, shivers have been sent down the spine of some of these supporters because largely they feel that they did not win the Ghana Premier League because they did not play here in Kumasi at the Babayara Sports Stadium. So when the news broke out, they feel that, hey, we are in once again to play away from home. So some of them were actually worried, but personally, I feel that the GFA or the club licensing department should have come out with detailed report as to why they have rejected the Babayara Sports Stadium.
Well, that was Steve Zando of our sister station, Love FM. But to some more Ghanaian football, where Hazaka's ladies have been drawn in Group A of the CAF Women's Champions League alongside host Wadi Degla of Egypt. The Ghana Women's Premier League champions qualified for the competition as winners of Wafu Zone B by beating Nigerian side Rivers Angels in the final. At the draw held at CAF's headquarters yesterday, Hazaka's ladies were pitted against the host, that's Wadi Degla of Egypt, and Malian champions AS Monday. And here's what the 2 groups look like. So Malabo Kings would also be joining Hazaka's ladies of Ghana. And in Group B, Hazaka's ladies were able to avoid Mamelodi Sundowns FC of South Africa. And then we have Asfar FC of Morocco, River Angels, and then Vihiga Queens of Kenya. Head coach of Hazaka's ladies, Yusuf Basigi, has been reacting to the draw.
The draw, I wouldn't say it's okay because there is no main club that is playing for the competition. Okay. These are all champions that are going to meet. Okay. So for me, I would term it as a tough group because I need to respect my opponents as well. So I regard all of them as a very good side. So it's a tough group. Well, for now, I don't know any of them. Okay. I'm yet to know them because now that the draw has come, because I couldn't have gone through to search for any of them until this draw. Okay. So now that the draw is out, now I have to know who are my opponents and how do they play. Okay, sure. We are going to impress Ghanaians who live up to expectation. And for that matter, you know, all of us are going with one mode. All the 8 class are meeting there with one mode. The ultimate. Yeah. So we are all going with the ultimate, but it's too early for one to say that, oh, I'm going to win the trophy because we have not even been in the competition yet. Okay. But to impress means that we are going to make an impact. Yeah.
Let's do some boxing now, where the Ghana Boxing Authority has lifted a 2-year ban imposed on former IBF lightweight champion Richard Comey. The sanction was handed to Comey in April this year after he made false accusations and disparaging remarks about GBA executives in a TV interview. Now, but the newly constituted GBA Executive Board took a decision to pardon the boxer following weeks of meeting to review the suspension handed Comey 6 months ago. Speaking on Sports Today live on the JoyNews channel, Joy Sports boxing expert Nathaniel Atto has, however, charged the GBA to crack the whip when boxers go astray.
the GBA to be striking that disciplinary rod because, I mean, whether or not it affects the boxer, it sends a certain clear message to all licensees of the Ghana Boxing Authority that we are within a body that operates with rules and regulations and operates under a certain framework. And therefore, if any boxer falls foul of these rules and regulations, they are surely going to face sanctions. And so for me, it is important that when boxers go wrong, the sanctions are applied. You realize that in this case, the wise counsel or the intervention of the government chair, Ni Takiteko Chu II, was sought. And because of that, it was expected that the GBA would back down. But of course, the GBA also bases this argument on the fact that when Comey issued that apology, it did not sound remorseful enough because it still had some innuendos in there, it still had some sarcasm in there, and you could not exactly feel that sense of regret in his voice and in his tone. And because of that, decided to go ahead with the ban. Look, Gary, you and I are Ghans. We come from the southern part of Ghana, and we give a lot of reverence to our traditional rulers. And therefore, if there's a sanctioning body that is operating within this area where the overlord says, my sons, you let it go, we have to let it go. But you have to realize that once the GBA doesn't let it go, then there is a problem. And so for me, it is important that that message is sent out there, not only to boxers, but to other licensees under the Ghana Boxing Authority, that we operate under rules and regulations. And if we want to see our boxing get back up there, like it was in the days when we had DK Poison, in the days when we had Iquote, Azuma Nelson, and the like, then we need to be disciplined as a body. And it applies to everybody else, irrespective of what your credentials are.
Well, welcome back. It's nice to have you here with us. And we're talking about heart health. So on today's show, we're talking about cardiovascular diseases or heart diseases, which we're learning remains the world's #1 killer, resulting in 18.6 million deaths a year. So it has many causes, from smoking, diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity to air pollution. So for the 520 million people living with CVD, COVID-19 has made things a lot worse, as they have been more at risk of developing severe forms of the virus. And then in addition to that, many have been afraid to attend routine and emergency appointments and have become isolated from friends and family. So how do you handle your heart in a delicate situation such as a COVID-19 pandemic? Well, today on Healthy Thursday, we will be talking to cardiologist with the University of Ghana Medical School, Dr. Joseph Akama. He's going to help us take better care of our hearts. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I love your smile. It's such a...
It keeps me going. The smile keeps me going, and I hope it will keep everybody going. I'm happy to be with you and your co-host, and thanks to Joy for having me.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, so the smile that keeps you going, does that have anything to do with the heart? I think if you smile, your heart is healthier?
Certainly. If you frown, you have the bad hormones get on you, stress hormones. So I keep a smile. I try to, even in the most difficult instances, I try to keep a smile. When I'm sharing difficult moments with my patients, I let them know that this is not the end of time. We have to keep going. And you realize that every smile you give and receive, there is something that comes in you that helps your heart and helps your blood pressure go down.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep smiling for our hearts. So let's talk about, heart health and heart disease and the fact that it's still, the world's #1 killer. I didn't know that. And I don't think that it's something that you would automatically assume, would be something that's killing people. Why is it still the world's #1 killer?
Well, it's amazing that we really haven't highlighted this a lot into the mindset of many Ghanaians. The problem lies on the fact that heart diseases are related to what we eat, how we behave, our attitude, lack of exercises, the stress level we're going through. So when this happens, then it is difficult to know when do you stop to the stress you're going through. Some of them are self-created stress. And you remember I talked about stress before. We said the bad hormones coming, cortisol, adrenaline, all of this increase the person's risk of getting high blood pressure and then diabetes. So the stress leads to heart problems, increase high blood pressure, increase diabetes. So at the end of it, we're just getting through a very unending circling problem that we cannot contain. And if we look at the developing countries compared to developed countries, they have advanced their health systems. The developed countries have advanced their health systems to cater for the NCDs, the non-communicable diseases, including heart diseases. Whereas the developing countries are still battling with infections, diarrhea, water problems, and then malnutrition. At the same time, we're battling with hypertension. So our health systems are not well developed to the point where we can take care of the non-communicable diseases properly. For instance, you guys know very well, you know very well the problem that came with this COVID-19 and ICU care. That really blew us apart because we just realized that, no, we're not capable of taking care of patients to that level of critical illness. And we have to develop it. We have to develop it. So based on that, the heart diseases, unfortunately, are affecting developing countries far, far more than the developed countries. Obviously, because we cannot take care of it, and we have the risk factors increasing. Fast food is coming up, a lot of salty food, a lot of Okada. Instead of walking from Legon to airport, we take a trotro, we take Okada. So the lack of activity, physical activity, increased salt intake, stress levels. We don't smoke a lot in Ghana, but I always say when you go to villages, maybe they're smoking a lot there. So all of these risk factors are increasing. And the World Health Foundation estimates that 31% of all deaths per year are attributable to heart conditions.
Wow, that's a lot of information. So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in addition to all of that, then we have COVID-19 comes in and it makes the situation worse. How, again, are you saying that COVID-19 has aggravated and made the situation of people living with cardiovascular diseases a whole lot worse?
Right. The COVID-19 situation has really not helped us at all. One is hit our economy very badly. That's exposed our health systems that we know we are not capable. We have to work hard to upgrade our hospitals, train more people. But for the patients, for the Ghanaian population, it has really hit the cardiovascular disease patient. The one that we haven't really understood is the fact that patients are afraid to come out to tell you that they are short of breath. Because the first thing you think about is what? COVID-19. They're short of breath, COVID-19. So the shortness of breath could be due to his heart failure. It could be due to angina. It could be due to blocked arteries. But he will not come out. So he will stay in the house for a long period. That will make his heart condition worsen. So COVID-19 has several problems related to the cardiovascular diseases, especially heart diseases.
Okay, so in this particular instance, you're saying that because of stigma, the people living with CVD are not coming out.
Exactly. Because if you come out and you come to the hospital and say you are short of breath, what do you think they'll do to you? Isolation.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediate isolation.
Yeah.
So they won't come. Okay, they won't come.
No,
and
but
we've had instances like that.
If you have COVID too and you don't go to the hospital, your situation is going to get even worse.
And that is why when they come in, it is too late. Either too late because of their heart condition or too late because of COVID. Yeah. So COVID by itself can infect the heart and cause pericarditis, inflammation of the cavern of the heart, or myocarditis, weaken the heart. COVID by itself can cause a lot of clots in the system. And it's estimated that a lot of people, up to 30% of people with COVID-19 infecting their lungs have clots. So the clots alone can hit somebody and he'll collapse, and that is it. And it affects the heart, the blood supply to the body. Apart from that, the stress of COVID alone increases your blood pressure, increases the bad hormones. So causes a lot of rhythm problems. And the COVID, by infecting the heart muscle, can cause rhythm skip beats. People have heart block, palpitations, rhythm disturbance, and then they have sudden cardiac death. In addition, the medications we give for COVID, some of them have deleterious effects on the cardiovascular disease. For instance, there are some antibiotics that we give to patients with COVID that can cause something we call QT prolongation. So especially the hydrochloroquine that we heard about up and down about it, it causes a lot of problems. So it has side effects. So if you just hit yourself with hydrochloroquine, you might die from a heart problem rather than the COVID. The COVID is not going to be a problem, but then you've caused a new problem. And as I said, the biggest one that I really want people to understand is the fear. So now we have to, that is why the World Heart Foundation is emphasizing on us connecting. Use your digital platforms. Call people, video conferences, video consultation. Use your smartphone and call people video. And then you can consult the doctor. So a lot of doctors are improving on their access ways of getting to patients who cannot come out or are afraid to come out. And the patients have to take the initiative to use their digital connections to be able to get help.
All right, so in one breath, you have people avoiding the hospitals because they fear that if they get there, they're having breath issues, they'll be isolated, and then they will say they have COVID-19. Then after all of that, you're also saying that the medication that is given them sometimes can also, compound their situation. But then, on the back of all of that, as if it's not terrible enough, and it turns out that if you happen to have cardiovascular disease and you get COVID, your situation gets worse because you have underlying conditions.
Yes. And then the COVID can affect your heart. Hit your heart so bad, your heart will become weak or give you rhythm disturbance or cause the covering to be inflamed. So this is where we're dealing with. So it has a multifaceted problem related to the COVID-19 infection.
Okay, so Doc, I mean, knowing that this is what has been happening over the past few months, that people with heart disease are not wanting to go to the hospital, have we set up, because you're talking about video consultation, which is great if it works, if your doctor is accessible, if you can actually do that. I haven't really seen, Israel, I don't know if you have, I haven't really seen any, health services, offering, appointment slots for video consultations and things like that. So is that, is that like a sustainable thing? Is that something that's happening and an option that is readily available to patients?
Yes, I have used it. So I'll tell you firsthand, I've used it. And a lot of practitioners are also using it. So the doctors who are not willing to go to that route, maybe Medical and Dental Council have to come out with guidelines. Maybe the Minister of Health and all its branches have to come with guidelines as to how we can contain patient confidentiality, and then in the light of this stealing of data. And I think the data management system or the commission that is involved in data sharing has to also come in. But having said that, telemedicine is the future. Why is it so? We have access problems. For instance, I've been able to consult with doctors in Bolgatanga. A friend of mine called me. He has a patient lying there having trouble breathing. I said, do you have an ultrasound? He said, yes. Okay, put it on the chest. He put it on the chest. Right away, I was able to determine what was going on with the heart and we're able to take care of it. So these are, and my colleague, Dr. Doku, is working with all of these possibilities to see how we can improve the access, because we don't have too many cardiologists in Ghana. So how are you going to, like we say, be divisible into twice? You cannot. So we have to be innovative. That's where Minister of Health has to move ahead. Medical and Dental Council has to move ahead and direct the physician. So I can be in Accra and yet consult with multiple places. How do we do that? We have to use the digital platform. Right now, money is gone digital. Why is healthcare not going digital? So we have to look at this. So I think the software developers, the companies that deal with communication have to think about the way of protecting patients so we can be able to comfortably see them remotely. And we've been doing it. I consult patients, I call them directly at their home. Apart from that, doctors are also becoming innovative by going to patients' home. So we are improving the care, but I think all of these have to be put in the context of patient confidentiality, making sure that you protect the patient's data so that it doesn't get into the public domain.
And also, I guess, the setting up of payment systems that work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the payment system already is rocking very well. We have mobile money. So doctors charge through mobile money. You pay me before I consult. Or you pay my clinic before they consult. And then those who come there, they can even have point of care payment systems where they can just slot in their card and pay. So the payment system, I think, has gone faster than the virtual consultation. The point where we have to get to is how do we really capture that information and document it so that it can be a legal document, it can be a future reference document for other doctors to refer to and stuff like that.
Good point there, because there has to be continuity in your medical records.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's move on to, a healthy heart. So if you don't have COVID, and then if you've had COVID, you talk about lifestyle, you talk about, the way we do things, the things we eat, and the fact that all of those things contribute to, having a healthy heart. So I have two questions for you. The first one is that we all know these things. We know that, our lifestyle affects our hearts, whether we exercise or not affects our heart. Why do you feel that a lot of people just don't take it that seriously? And secondly, how do we, get to a point where we're, preemptive? So we're in a how would you put this? The English is not coming.
We prevent.
Preventive, that's the word. We're preventing, getting into situations where we have heart issues.
Right. So the first question is really a heavy loaded question. It requires psychiatrists, psychologists, and
sociologists, anthropologists,
everybody to come in. Even all the pastors and
the spiritual fetish priests, that's a good one.
Exactly. Because you see, it's a habit problem. For instance, if a young lady is about to wed and she thinks that she has to look in a certain way, there's a motivation.
Yeah.
The man also is also motivated. So they have a short-term goal. So they can work hard to get there. What we need to do is to translate that to long-term goals. And that's the habit making that we have to. Apart from that, we also have this attitude of, I am doing well, therefore I have to drive. I am doing well. I cannot ride on Okada. I can't ride even trotro. A lot of people don't. When I was a junior doctor, I used to take trotro from Kolebu to Adenta every day. Now tell a junior doctor to take trotro, he wouldn't. So the lifestyle has gone higher and higher to the level where people who used to walk are using Okada because status has changed. So we have this false exhibition, make appearance seem what they are not. And when we do that, we are going to be in deep trouble, and that is what is going on. So we have to have a way of encouraging walking. When you go to new neighborhoods, there are not even good gutters. not to talk about working places. They're creating good, nice, environmental friendly, so-called environmental friendly neighborhood. But do you see any place to walk? No. Do you see any place to even for children to go and play? No. Every space is taken up in Ghana. So the government has to sit up and say, what am I doing to my population? Government doesn't mean NDC, MPP. No, don't get me wrong. Don't go there. What I mean is we as a country have to come out with pragmatic assessment of where we are going with our health systems. Our preventive measures are not good. We have to come up with practical solutions. Why are we exercising less and less? Why are we not able to get involved in some of these health promoting activities? Because we know our diet is deteriorating by the day. So you can supplement with increased exercise. But I tell you what, those patients of mine who have taken up the mantle, change their lifestyle, start exercising, you see their blood pressure drop, you see their cholesterol drop, their outlook, they're more sexual, they're more engaging, they're happier. So there are a lot of benefits, and I'm not kidding you. There are a lot of benefits that come with changing your lifestyle, exercising, and making sure that you can keep it going. The question is, how do you keep it going? And that is where, if you can solve that question, then you'll be a millionaire. It's a very difficult situation. People have gyms, they join gyms and then pay the people. You see, the gym owners, they don't charge you per visit. They charge you 2 years.
Yeah.
Because they know you won't come. So they charge you 3 years. They'll say, I will discount you 3 years. He's gone to the bank. He's going to play golf. He's bought a new car with your money. He knows you come, 1, 2, 3. The next 3 years, you're not going to show up. And then he'll go to another person. So it's like a Ponzi scheme. But if you are to be going every day, can you imagine if the gym members were to go every day? They can't have space for them. You see, so they know the behavior of the people, and we have to be able to turn it around. So we have people who organize local exercise programs in Legon. People go to Eburi. That one, once a week, climb up the Eburi thing. I like it for relaxation, but it's not a good exercise program. You need to exercise daily, 30 minutes every day, okay? If you want to lose weight, you need to go to 60 minutes, about 45 to 60 minutes every day for about 5 days a week. It's not just Saturday morning, you go and climb the mountain, come down, eat bankun fufu with
kenke, palm wine, pito.
Palm wine, and then you come home and then belch and sleep. No.
Doc, I have a question for you. I mean, so we've seen, articles and studies, that have said that sex is a good form of exercise. So if you're talking about somebody needing to lose weight and they need to exercise for 60 minutes, to be able to do that, can you factor in the amount of time you spend having sex as part of your exercise quota?
Well, once people are consensually married and live together, sex has multiple benefits. One, it's good exercise because the whole body is going to exercise. 2, it relaxes the person. 3, it brings down a lot of the stress in the marriages and relationships. So I think I'm not endorsing that you just go around doing things that you're not supposed to do. But once you're married, it is a good way of keeping the marriage. And you remember one of our prominent writers and what is Ebo?
Ebo White.
He's been talking. Yeah, Ebo White has been talking about it lately. A lot of old men like listening to his story.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is true that sex helps a lot, but it has to be done in the context of you're marrying the person and then keeping the relationship going.
Okay, Doc, let me come in here. So in other words, what you're trying to say, and you're preaching, in effect, that you can have all the sex that you want, or Enima can have all the sex that she wants, but she still has to exercise.
Oh, yes. Oh, sex is just one little bit. It's just a little bit. It doesn't contribute, assuming you're going to get exercise from, let's say you need 100% exercise per week. Sex should be like 10%. It doesn't contribute much.
Okay.
It doesn't
Happy as well?
Yes, I'm
okay.
very happy.
Doc, so now I want to talk to you about psychological factors, that affect our hearts, because so many times, there seems to be in our conversations a disconnect between what we think and the way we feel, and the ability that the impact that it has on our health or on our heart health, for example. So can you just clarify that for us? How much of an impact does the way we think, the things that are worrying us, the stress and the issues that we're facing in life, how much of an impact does that have on our heart health? And how is it important that we get psychological support so that we're manifesting a healthier, life physically?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you look at the heart, even people who haven't studied anatomy, it's amazing. When you ask them where's their heart, they point to the left side. Okay, you go to a village, Makuma goes to the left side. So there is some psychological bearing, there is some psychological relationship. When somebody is having a heart attack, he knows that he's going to die. For some reason, the heart is able to communicate with the person. When you're in love with somebody, the heart tickles. So psychologically, there is a relationship that we have not been able to explore. Maybe it is through the hormones and blood, the adrenaline, sympathetic, parasympathetic. These are all nervous system stuff. But having said that, thinking your well-being has a bearing on your attitude, the way you think. If you think negative things are going to happen to you. If you think positive things are going to happen to you. Why is this so? There are certain hormones that are called endorphins. The more positive you are, the more you help people, the more you smile, you improve the levels of endorphins, and these have direct burden on your outlook, your energy, your heart health, your blood pressure levels. Now, negative thoughts, bad thinking, a lot of stress leads to increased cortisol, increased stress hormones, including adrenaline, which are bad for the person. So what does it lead to? Increased weight. Even though you're not eating much, you're going to be increased, your weight is going to go up. You're going to have the chance of getting to be a diabetic if you don't stop thinking bad. And then you become more depressed, because the more you have bad hormones coming to you, stress hormones, the more likely you're going to be depressed. Depression is directly linked to heart conditions. So people who are depressed will try to uplift them, try to get them engaging, try to let them get out and talk more. So we have to move away. If there's something bothering you, these days we keep to ourselves a whole lot than the older people used to do. The previous generations used to have family support. You are far removed from your family and you are struggling by yourself. You need to have a community. And that is why, if you look at the World Heart Foundation, they're emphasizing the community approach, where we keep each other, we try to help each other, and then help people cope with their stress levels. At the government level, they have to come up with some strategies to help diffuse tension in Ghana whenever there's tension coming up. Whenever there is a lot of stress coming in, the government has to come out with or the Minister of Health has to come out with a program that can diffuse the tension. That way, the anxiety level goes down. People will not go about destroying things because they are so anxious, and then they get injuries and stuff like that. But I think this topic is very wide, and it has a lot of psychological and cardiometabolic implication, which means that the way you think psychologically, the way you behave psychologically has a direct bearing on your cardiac and metabolism. And the metabolism aspect is the weight gain you're going to have, the increased cholesterol, increased diabetes, increased blood pressure, increased risk of sudden cardiac death, because you're going to have rhythm disturbance and then you die suddenly. But the flip coin is that if you are able to undo some of this stress, you reap a lot of benefit. And that is where we have to be emphasizing on.
All right.
Know who you are, know how you can rethink things, lessen the stress level that you have, and then keep on going and smile.
Okay, Doc, so they say that the simple things in life are free. And you've alluded to some of them, but I'd want you to take us through some of the things that we can do if I can't afford to get gym membership, and if I get to do the other things that you're talking about. What are some of the basic things that I can do? And I'm saying this because I know you're a grassroots kind of person. I mean, you know what the situation is like on the ground. What are some of the simple things we can do? Lifestyle choices, really.
Yes. So I will just link it with a question we didn't delve into when your co-host asked about the preventive measures.
Yeah.
So I think the simple things that for now, first and foremost, know yourself. Begin by assessing your numbers. What is your blood pressure? Very easy to know. And you can monitor it regularly. What is your cholesterol level? And these days, you can go into the internet and find out the cholesterol the doctor told you is normal. Is it truly normal for your age, for your size, for your gender, for your blood pressure level? Is it true? And then thirdly, know your sugar level, okay? Once you know these numbers and you're able to track them, and at the appropriate age, know what our screening you should do for cancer, colon cancer, rectal cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer. These have to be screened periodically. Those are basic things you can easily do without running and jogging and stuff like that. Now, once you get those, begin with a simple attitude of try to relax. Take some time off. Have you seen Ghanaians go on vacation regularly? Maybe more than Ghanaians. When they take a vacation, they're going for a funeral, okay? And go and stress themselves and come back and continue working, okay? Multiple jobs. Then the vacation, they leave, they even work harder than the time they were in regular work period. So we have to develop that culture of, let me just take a break. Nothing is going to stop. But you see, when you are in a big position and you leave away for a month on vacation, by the time you come, things will be so spoiled, you regret you went on vacation. So a lot of these big people don't want to go on vacation. But those of us on the ground, go on vacation, take a week, just relax, just go to the village. You're not going for a funeral, just go and walk around, play back your childhood memories. These will help you calm down. Next one is to exercise. Walk daily if you can. Don't join a gym unless you are committed, because that's money thrown away. I'm not against gym companies. Don't come after me. But they are making money off your back. So start the exercise. Make sure you can maintain it before you join the gym. If you can organize a neighborhood program, don't do it just to show off. Be serious. Make sure you pull 3-4 people together. You walk in the morning, 30 minutes, come, take a shower, and go to work. Those of you who work a lot, try to get equipment in your office. If you're capable, get a bike, stationary bike in your office. Once you're doing your Zoom meeting, you can be riding. So all of these are things that you can easily incorporate into your life. Standing is very key. Newscasters, sometimes these days we see you standing, which is really good. But if you sit for too long, it is not a good thing. So periodically, 1 to 2 hours, stand up. And these days, there are even desks that will help you. You press a button, the desk rises, and then you also stand, and then it will come down again when you want to sit down. So these are simple things you can incorporate into your life. Doctors, nurses are so stressed, you have to take break. There is something called burnout. And burnout is not just with the doctors and nurses. Everybody gets burned out. The police get burned out. They are being bombarded left and right with armed robbers. They are stressed. Soldiers are stressed. So everybody is under tremendous stress. You have to take some time back out of the whole chaos, relax, take care of yourself, screen yourself. If you have not seen a doctor in a year, that is a bad thing. If you have not seen a doctor in a year, that's a bad thing. Go get your screening, get examined, talk to the doctor, make sure you know your numbers. And then a patient of mine didn't have any problem. And guess what? He kept on coming. And 5 years later, he developed diabetes. If we didn't know, he wouldn't have been aware. And he quickly jumped on it, and the sugar is controlled. So this is a very good way of monitoring yourself. So we knew when the diabetes started going, we started warning each other, your sugar is beginning to go up, your sugar is going, and I'm giving you as an example myself. When I came to Ghana, everything was quiet. But as I got older, my numbers started going up. I could tell my blood pressure started going up, my sugar started going up. And I had to take measures to cut things down. And that is how you can know. Get to know your numbers, start walking.
Now, another thing I'd want you to touch on has to do with the eating habits, as in the kind of diet we should be taking in to avoid getting some of these heart problems. But we have some people calling us. We have a first caller, but you can also call. The numbers are on the screen: 030-221-1691 or 2. We have Maxwell calling from Medina. So Maxwell, you have the cardiologist online. Is there any question you have for him?
Good morning to you and good morning to the doctor. I took the COVID-19 jabs at Medina Clinic, and I think 2 days today, I'm feeling pains on my leg, on my upper hand and headache. Is it normal or something is wrong, please?
All right, so this is not quite a COVID conversation, but since we have the doctor online, I'll just put that to him. Dr. Akama, can you help him out?
Yes, I didn't get him. Did he say he had COVID-19 diagnosed or he has
He's taking the vaccine. Maxwell, you've taken the vaccine, right?
Is the vaccine? Oh, yes. So the vaccine, it is a normal, no, let me not say normal. Let me say expected reaction from your body. What happens is when you get a vaccine, your body has to produce items we call antibodies. They are like soldiers that are preparing your system to fight COVID-19 should you get the COVID-19. However, when in the production of these, there's some inflammation going on. So just think about it like Star Wars. You know, when you watch Star Wars, whatever is going on there, something is happening to your body. And so what we advise is that when you get COVID-19 shot, you're likely to experience some symptoms. You take paracetamol, okay? Drink a lot of fluids. Don't get anxious. Don't get anxious because you read all about these stories about the vaccine, the side effect. I had side effect. When I got COVID-19 injection, I had side effect. But I had to take paracetamol, drink a lot of fluids. After 3 days, I started taking Motrin to help me because it was so painful. But within another day or two, things went back to normal. So it will happen to some people. Some patients do not get any complaints. One of my patients really had severe chest pain, palpitations, sore throat. And we nearly admitted the patient. But with counseling, with a lot of fluids, light soup, the person got better, paracetamol, and we started laughing about it.
All right.
Okay. So it is possible.
Okay. So Maxwell, don't get too anxious. If you get anxious, it's not good for your heart. Let's go to Kwabna, who's calling from Latte. Hello, Kwabna.
Hi.
Yes, you have Dr. Akama on the line.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very, very interesting, very, very good program you guys are running this morning. My question is, so I've been, over the period, my pulse, when I do my check, I realize that my pulse is averaging 47. Is this something to worry about? My pulse level is 47. And then again, when it comes to exercising, will you recommend that you see a doctor before you start any form of exercise, or you can jump on any form of exercise? For instance, just run. I can do a bit of walking, but I can't run. But is it necessary, is it imperative that I see a doctor to recommend the form of exercise I should engage in? Those are my questions.
All right, thank you, Kwabna. Dr. Kama.
Okay, so sorry to hear about your inability to run. How old are you, sir? You don't have to, anyway, your name is on the
Hello,
screen.
hello, Kwabna. Can you give a range?
Let me answer you at his age. Some people don't want their age to be mentioned. But the reason why I wanted his age was to say certain individuals after the age of 40 onwards, in my view, have to be screened before they can go for exercise. Especially when you're older and you're going to start exercising, you may have to get screened. How do you get screened? You see a cardiovascular doctor, they do an ECG, make sure your heart is fine, and then they may do a stress test, because some people may have underlying heart condition without knowing it, and then suddenly they start running and then they collapse. So before you engage, especially when you're older, try to get screened. Younger people start slow. And if you can't get screened and you're older, start slow and progressively go up. And we notice any limitation, shortness of breath, chest pain, then you go get help. Now, regarding what our exercise you should do, I think walking is very good, okay? Actually, running has some good aspects to it and bad aspects to it. It can hurt your knees and people can have knee trouble down the line. So if you can walk distance, stamina training is very, very good. So I would say if you're older, you've never exercised, get screened before you start running. If you're younger, start slow and then build your stamina up.
All right, great. Let's go to Kingsley, who's calling from Casper. Hello, Kingsley.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
All right, good morning. What's your question to the doctor?
Yeah, I really appreciate the program this morning. I was actually diagnosed of mitral valve regurgitation 2017. So from 2017 to 2021, this year, I went back. It helped me to run another test.
We can't hear you, Kingsley. You'd have to.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, please. Yes, speak up.
Yes. So when I went back to the hospital this year, they ran another test and they said it's a rheumatic valve disease. So at the long run, they actually said it's not too serious. They sent me to another doctor. As it is, I'm actually having so much pain, so much symptom more than the way it was. Now I can actually have this BP up to 190 over 120.
Come again. You said BP of what?
190.
190.
Yeah, 190 over 120. And severe chest pain and back pain.
Okay.
Severe chest pain and back pain. For more than a week now, for more than 2 weeks now, I'll be having so much pain at my left side under the rib cage, and so much heart pain.
Okay.
Leading to my neck, my shoulder.
I think I heard you say that you've seen a doctor already, but you
yes,
I believe
I saw them and they told me it's not serious. But now the things I'm having and the things I'm having are just so much that I'm even so scared.
Yeah.
Because the doctors are telling me it's not serious, but what I'm having, the pains I'm having is so
You said the doctor is telling you that what?
It's not serious. That it's not serious.
It's not serious? All right, let's have Dr. Akama speak to that.
Even I can't even sleep because of my chest, my heartbeat at night. I can't even sleep well. The sound of my heartbeat can't even make me sleep.
Kingsley,
right.
Let's hear Dr. Akama. Yeah.
Yeah, Kingsley, I'm sorry to hear about these problems, but you have real problems. You do have real problems. But sometimes the doctor might not be at the level where he can appreciate what you're going through. So you have to go a notch up, maybe seek help from a specialist. What you're describing has multiple issues to it. First, let's deal with your mitral valve. Your mitral valve, they said you have rheumatic fever. What is rheumatic fever or rheumatic heart disease? Rheumatic fever ensues from having sore throat. Some of us were little, we got infected, we had sore throat, and then there's a bacteria called streptococcus. Once that gets infected, you get infected with that bacteria in your sore throat, it can release certain chemicals that will affect your heart. And then years down the line, your valves will start malfunctioning. So maybe that is what you're going through. Now, the malfunction valve can lead to enlargement of the heart. The enlargement of the heart can lead to heart failure. And then the heart failure can lead to other problems that you're facing. In addition, you've also developed hypertension, which is not related to the rheumatic heart disease, but the hypertension can make the rheumatic heart disease worse. So high blood pressure can make your valve leak more, and then the valve leaking more can create a lot of pressure, back pressure into your system, your venous pressure, then your intestines will be enlarged, your liver will be enlarged, and there'll be congestion. So in addition, you also give this pain from your neck down your shoulder. It could be from your heart, but more likely it's coming from your spine and your shoulder joint, maybe muscular pain. So I think my advice to you is, since you're having a lot of problems and the doctor doesn't seem to agree with you, go a notch up and then ask for more help. Go and see a specialist. Let them understand your system very well. Control the blood pressure. Let them control the blood pressure. And then sometimes when we control the blood pressure, everything gets better. Your heart gets smaller, your breathing gets better, and then the pain might go away. How about clogged arteries? You could have clogged arteries. You're afraid to eat. Maybe your cholesterol may have caused your arteries to clog up in your stomach, that whenever you eat, you have the pain coming up because of ischemia, lack of blood supply to your intestines. That is possible. So I think it's difficult to give you a direct answer, but first control the blood pressure, get a second opinion, and then they always tell people, don't be too anxious. Try to seek help. The anxiety, the perseverance of anxiety makes things worse. So calm yourself down, go get a good specialist who understands. It will be multiple visits because they may have to do certain tests, look at the heart, look at your blood pressure, change your medications, agree with them, work with them to take the medicines. Because if you don't take the medicines, the blood pressure is not going to go down.
All right. Thank you very much, Doc. And Kingsley, this is free advice. Advice that you're not having to pay for, even though you're enjoying the telemedicine. Let's go to Isaac. He's going to be our last caller. Isaac is calling from Cape Town.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, Isaac, yes, speak with Dr. Kama.
Yeah, my problem is any slight food I eat, bean, fufu, bean, banku, bean, cocoa, immediately I eat, I feel sleepy.
Oh. You feel sleepy?
Yes.
No matter the food that you eat?
No matter the food.
Okay. And it's a problem for you. Let's speak with, let's hear from Dr. Joseph Ankama. So Isaac has a peculiar problem. Anything that he eats, fufu, cocoa, whatever, he feels sleepy right after that.
Yes, so there is a relationship. It's not something that is not physiological. There's a physiological explanation.
Oh, okay.
Some people, when they eat, all the blood gets diverted to the stomach and the intestines. So you have a differential vasodilation so that the body's attention goes into the intestinal system. So the brain does not get blood. When the brain does not get blood, the brain says, go to sleep, okay? And then in an hour, when the digestion is over, you are active again. So it is a classic physiological problem. Why is it that some people experience it more? it's difficult to explain. Maybe there is a problem with your autonomic nervous system. Maybe that is your nature. So those people, we advise that do not eat too much. You eat little throughout the day. You'll be able to avert this scenario. Otherwise, you have to be checked to find out what is going on. There are people also, we find out they get chest pain, like heart attack, warning for heart attack, when they eat. And that is also physiological because, again, the blood is diverted to your stomach and your intestines. The heart is crying, I don't have blood, and the chest pain comes on. So it is physiological. But I think go and see the specialists you should see are three. One, the GI doctor, the endocrinologist, and the neurologist. Okay? So these are three specialists. I don't think you have any heart problem yet. They will be able to help you determine what is going on. Especially the endocrinologist will tell you about the hormonal problems, maybe some hormonal problems. The GI doctor will be able to tell you whether there's a problem with your intestines. And then the endocrinologist. If they think you need a cardiologist, then you can go up to see a cardiologist. Sometimes the blood supply to your intestines could be a problem as well.
All right. That was Isaac was our last caller. But Doc, I'd want us to finish off, since we're talking about food, let's finish off with the eating habits. Some of the things we should be avoiding if we're to ensure that we have a good heart.
Yes. So eating habits is one of our Achilles tendon. We like food. We like the good multiple types of meat on the plate on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon after church. So we enjoy it. And Ghanaian food is really good, tasty. But the problem is the amount of oil, the amount of fried stuff, the age of the oil that they use to cook, and also the amount of calories. So we're going to look at what is the content of the food? How much calorie does it take? What is calorie? Calorie is basically the petrol you get from the fuel. From the food. The petrol the body uses, you get from the food. If it's too much, you wouldn't use all the petrol, so you save it. And then the place to save it is your buttocks, your chest, your backside, your arms, and you become big. So if you don't need a lot of fuel, don't eat too much. But the unfortunate thing is, the bigger you are, the more you eat.
That's what I was going to say.
The
Doc,
bigger you are, the more you eat.
Doc, I've been telling people this thing that, because people, sometimes ask, because I like to pick on a lot of things, so I end up eating a lot. I always tell people that it takes more fuel to fill the tank of a Tundra than it does to fill the tank of a Tico.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
But you have to start going towards using electric current rather than fuel.
I love that.
So try to change your fuel, okay?
Your fuel source.
But it is something that we can work with. You could still eat, but make sure that the amount of food you're eating, the content of calorie is less. There's something we call glycemic index. Glycemic index. Glycemic index is how much sugar, literally, I'm just using the literal translation. How much sugar do you get out of that food you've just eaten? Okay. And if you look at the amount of the way our Banku has transitioned, the Banku of yesteryears is not the Banku of today. It's finer, it's adulterated, and you digest it quickly. Okay, how can you eat Banku and be constipated? Those years, you couldn't eat Banku and be constipated. Okay, there's no way you eat Banku and get constipated. These days, you eat Banku and you get constipated. You eat fine fufu and you get constipated. But so it's because it's become finer and we're able to take up all the calories from the Banku, and then we don't know what to do with it. The other thing is the time of eating, not just the quantity, but the timing. If you eat more in the morning, less in the afternoon, and nothing in the evening, you're better off. Okay. But guess what? A lot of people cannot sleep with an empty stomach.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will end up by eating late, which is bad. I'm a victim of that, so I'm not like somebody who is innocent. I'm a victim of because I work too much and I come late and I have to eat late. But it is not good because as soon as you eat and go to sleep, you don't burn the fuel, you just store it. So change the timing of your eating, the quantity of eating, the amount of things that will give you fiber. That is the best thing. So vegetables, and if you don't like fresh vegetables, parboil it. Heat it a little bit, add things that you like. You can add pepper to it, salt. You know, we use these white man's dressings. Why can't we create our own dressing? Why do you have to use ranch? Ranch really makes it tasty, but you just substitute the grass for a lot of fat and stuff.
All right.
So you can use a little bit salt and pepper, add some onions, grind it, and then sprinkle it over the leaves, and then it will be tasty. Add a little bit olive oil, and that's my recipe. You can do that and without increasing the calorie.
Okay.
The last one will be fatty food, milk products, dairy products. We don't do a lot of dairy products, but if you look at the amount of milk we consume, the concentrated milk, I don't want to name them, but you know what I'm talking about. It's actually a lot. Some people pour half a tin into their coffee. No, that is too much. So milk is not really good for us.
Okay.
So if we can cut it down, the better.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
This has been wonderful.
Dr. Joseph Akama, you've made my morning. I mean, you started with the smile and you ended with the tundra. So absolutely love it. Thank you so much for taking time out to spend with us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
We've been talking to Dr. Joseph Akama, who is a You want to say something? You're not letting me finish.
No, before we go on it, because you brought the tundra and the tickle analogy.
Oh, it's tundra.
Yeah.
Hey, Barney.
Okay, so hold on. If you have a tundra and you're having to fuel it.
Please, it's not tundra. It's tundra.
You're having to fuel it with
the tundra.
With so much fuel. What you could also do is swap your tundra for a tickle.
Are you going to do that?
I'm asking you to do
Are you going to do that?
I'm asking you to do that.
Anyways, interesting conversation, but take care of your heart is really the takeaway. Okay, so we're moving on. I believe we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be having a conversation about the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. This weekend, we're going to be having the 3rd mini clinic at the Junction Mall. And we're hosting roofing experts DBS right after this.
All right, so all morning we've been telling you that we're having the roof experts join us on the AM show. As part of the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair, we're having the 3rd and final mini clinic. It's going to be at the Junction Mall. And James Kweku Senu, who's the sales and marketing manager at DBS, he's in the studio with us. And he's going to be telling us why they are the roof experts. Good morning to you, James, and glad to have you in the studio.
Good morning. And I would like to wish all viewers good morning and our cherished customers as well.
Okay, so James is going ahead to use the opportunity to reach out to the cherished customers. He's going all out. Sales and marketing manager, papa. All right, so yes, I'm sure your customers are happy that you have greeted them. But looking forward to this, the 3rd mini clinic, which is at the Junction Mall. I want you to tell us what are the visitors and your customers, repeat customers who have to come to the fair. What can they expect?
All right. In regards to the upcoming Habitat Fair this weekend, we are going to have a lot of products on display, being our roofing products, being our concrete products on display this weekend. And aside that, we are giving them 10% if you are doing business with us through this fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. But why do you call yourself the roof experts anyway?
We are one of the best, and when you come to roofing, when you talk of durability and quality, we are the best.
What is it that makes your products the best?
What makes our product the best has to do with how durable and quality our products are. Looking at the product we have on the market, there's a lot of fading which is going on. Okay. We just roof a month or two, you see your roof which has changed from red to a different color. So what we have brought on board is anyone who do a purchase through us is being given 20 years anti-fading warranty.
For real?
Sure.
20 years?
20 years.
So the roof is not going to change color?
No, please. And this 20 year is on our flashy product, which is the color link product.
That's impressive. So for 20 years, it's going to stay the same way.
Sure.
What is it that you're doing to it that will not let it fade, but others will fade?
I think it's the coating. What we use in coating has to do with the color link plus, which we talk of the coating has to do with the paint we use in coating the material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're going to say it's your trade secret. So you're not going to tell anybody about it, but it's great. And you've been in business for a while now, and I can imagine that you have customers who are coming back because they've tried and tested your product.
Yeah, we have been in business for 25 years now, and we have a lot of good recommendations from customers who buy from our outlets. And we are still doing a continuing business with them because of the trust that they have in us.
Okay. Are there any special packages that you have for people who come and buy your products? Do you, for instance, roof for them without, they having to go look for their own artisans to do all of that?
Yeah, I think for the product, when you place in a request, we need to visit your site for a measurement. And we advise you according to the kind of material that we give. That one is based on your location.
All right.
Because you can't be in Choco very close to the sea and be expecting a color link or alu zinc material.
Okay.
Yeah, so we advise customers based on their location, the sort of material they need to go in for.
So as you're saying, depending on your location, you approach DBS and you say you want your roof to be done for you. And then DBS is going to assign someone to go look at your facility.
Yes, please. We assign an estimator to go and assess the property in question. Then when it's back, we generate a PFI for you. And that's where the telesales take over and talk to the customer till the business is done. And then we have one thing.
Hold on. So is it the estimator who's going to decide the kind of roof or material that you should be having?
It's two ways. A customer will have a choice, but if we realize the choice of the customer will not help, probably we propose to you, the kind of material you are going for will not help based on your location. So let's go in for A, let's go in for B, which will be suitable for your project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, so you're saying that after that, the estimator comes back to the office and then someone else takes over.
We generate the PFI. That's where our telesales has the ample time to have an interaction with the customer till that deal is being sealed.
Yeah. If you have your money available, how long will it typically take for DBS to move from DBS coming to estimate and sealing the deal and delivering?
If you have your money ready, I think 7 working days, we should be done with your roofing. Done from production to installation. It should be 7 working days. But there's an exception whereby you have some big projects, big organization, with the projects are quite huge. Just want it to extend a little than the 7 working days.
Okay, but if it happens to be like a basic...
Just a domestic house, 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 7 working days, we should be done with your project.
Okay, so how affordable are your roofs?
We are very affordable based on the quality of material that we have, and based on the sales that we have. We are very, 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 very.
Okay, give us a figure when you say very, very affordable.
Actually, I can't give you a figure on screen now.
Yeah.
But prices are based on the measurement you have on site, or if you have a drawing, we assess that and give you an estimate.
Okay, so you can't tell us, for example, if you have a 3-bedroom, house that you want roofed at the lowest possible cost. You can't give us a range of figures.
Not really.
Okay. Right.
Actually, I've not seen the property involved. I just have to have a clear view of the property. Then I can give you a price based on that.
He's being careful.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, when you say affordable, you know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Because, I mean, obviously, the average Ghanaian is not earning bucket loads full of money. So, and we know DBS for quality and for beauty, because your roofs are stunning.
Very well.
So when we ask, is it affordable? I mean, is it made for the average Ghanaian, or is it made for a niche market?
Yeah, it's made for, I think, all class of Ghanaians. We have the Colourlink Plus, which is our topmost quality. And we also have the Super, which you can't even afford the Colourlink, then you can choose to go for the Super, which is also very quality and affordable as well.
So there are different grades depending on your pocket?
Sure, please.
Okay, that's fantastic.
But does the Super also have the guarantee that you...
The 20-year fading,
yeah. Yes, we also have a written guarantee on that as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so what can our listeners, expect this weekend when they come to the Habitat Fair and they come to look for you?
I urge all of them to be at the Habitat Fair this weekend. We'll have a lot of our products on display, being our self-lock material, being our Eurotiles material, aluminum material. And anyone who do business with us through the Habitat Fair, we are giving them a cool 10% discount. So they'll be given a discount voucher at the fair.
And then when you make the purchase, you can claim that.
Sure, please.
All right, sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So as you heard, James Kweku Senu saying he's a sales and marketing manager. He has gone ahead to greet all his customers. So all the customers who come, if you come and patronize, you expect that at the next interview he will greet you too. so make a day. There's a third and final mini clinic, which is happening at the Junction Mall.
This weekend.
Second
and third.
Yeah, do make a date. And it's Saturday and Sunday. And it's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So come see Mr. Deno for the discounts as well. He's indicating that if you come, you're going to get a discount voucher. Wow.
10%.
10%. All right, thank you very much for joining us. You're still on the AM show. Do stay tuned in. We're not done. All right, so there's one other bit of the conversation that I pointed out to you earlier that we...
I go there for you.
That's David.
When the boy down go.
So do you want to...
Okay, go ahead. Their money, hide your face. Yeah, so this is a 2. When I said that, I go there for you, then I go there for you. If I was doing Mrs. Echo, he would know how to respond.
Yeah, but I'm not Echo.
Yeah, clearly. Oh my God.
Okay. So Davido is saying that Nigerian music has become big globally, because Nigerians have been extremely supportive, especially Nigerians in the diaspora. He's been speaking with Trevor Noah. Let's listen to him, and then we'll come. It's generated a number of interesting comments. That if...
you understand how what works? The fact that you go to a club with $50,000 and you tell the DJ that you should play that. So you see what I've been telling you? Israel is just...
No. I mean, the point I'm making is I can understand how if you encourage people to enjoy the music, eventually they begin to love the music.
Yeah.
The music just needs to have airplay. You play the music. The more you play the music, the more you get people to love the music. So people who are not familiar with the Afrobeats and are not familiar with Nigerian music, they go to a club and they hear the music being played. It's being played over and over again. It's like you're paying payola, they call it. So this time the Nigerians are paying the payola to the DJs in the club.
And the DJs are playing.
And the DJs are playing and they love the music.
And you know what else is interesting? The American stars, American musicians are enjoying the music, so they're coming on board. So, for example, Justin Bieber, did his rendition of Wizkid's No Essence. That's what it's called. We've seen that happen a couple of times. We saw Drake, do a collaboration with, and we can't pull those kinds of styles. So it's making me wonder. Is it that the Nigerian music, apart from, the fact that they promote themselves, is it that the Nigerian music is more internationally palatable?
No, I think, as Davido was explaining, if you get the music being played in the club, after a while, the people who are typically not familiar with the music become familiar with the music, and then they are now begin to request for the music. If the music becomes popular, the Western stars, the Justin Biebers and the rest, they don't have a choice but to feel like, if we are not part of it, if we need to jump, if we're not part of it, then we're losing something.
Yeah.
And they begin to also sample it. And so he says, he goes to Atlanta, and people are beginning to request the music, request for the music. So it gets to a point where he has a show.
20 shows in the US, actually.
It's sold out. Why is it that, is it what is working for them, that they have Nigerians who can afford to throw $50,000 dollars?
Oh, we have Ghanaians who can do that too. I don't know if they'll be asking that music, particularly. They'll probably be asking for Nigerian music to be played. That's one thing, but I don't know.
Then I also look at this other way, that, Nigeria is a huge country, and you can't afford to ignore them.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. So in Ghana, if there are a number of people who may want to do that, they may not be that much as compared
when you go
to
to a
Nigeria,
club, obviously there are a lot more Nigerians and a lot more.
Exactly. And apart from that, the economy in Nigeria, because they're that huge, the economy in Nigeria gets to support the musicians so that they can also, they make more money locally, then they can do the kind of things that they're doing with their music, or investing in their music the way we probably are not, because our market is
I had a conversation a few weeks ago when I was hosting the morning show on Hits FM, and I was talking to a few of the major industry players, and one of the big issues that affects the Ghanaian entertainment industry is the importance that we place on the proper management of talent and the branding, the marketing, the putting ourselves out there, the way we dress, the way we present our music, the quality of music, and those things are big. Now, you find that with Nigerians, you even heard Davido talking about it, he's talking about his manager, and you hear about how, their managers are serious people, important, who have gravitas. So do Ghanaian managers. But a lot of Ghanaian artists like to branch out on their own and do a friends and family kind of musical institution, which means that you actually don't have the knowledge, the strategy, and the skill, because it is a strategy game. It's music, but it's about strategy, which is how come Burna Boy can put out his music and Puff Daddy, it will catch his attention. It's not because Burna Boy's music is so much better than, let's say, Sarkodie or let's say Samini. It's not. It's pretty much on the same level. It's not like sensational. His music is good, yes, but it's about strategy. It's about how you position yourself.
Yeah.
Positioning yourself costs money. A lot of Ghanaian artists don't have the money to position themselves. We have not placed our entertainment industry as something that's worth investing into. So we don't have the big players necessarily backing us. I know that Davido's father is a millionaire, but I'm sure if you look into the background of, the Burna Boys and the, all of those things, at some point in their lives, after they've made it up to a certain level, they've had the big players backing them.
Yeah.
Which is how come they can go out there, and be shooting hoops with it. So it's a.
And Nigeria also has a lot of big players and a lot of billionaires who
don't mind.
Who don't mind
investing. But like Dr. Awal has been saying, who's our Minister of Tourism, it's a Minister of Creative Arts, sorry. I can't remember if it's a Minister of Creative Arts or Tourism. Anyway, it's important that we position and brand and strategize the entertainment industry, because we have great talent.
So apart from all that I've said, there are people who also have been posting some comments on, I posted a video on my page, and I have a number of people who have come to comment, and they have diverse comments. We can go to some of the comments and read some of them, but interesting comments. In fact, there was one who apparently posted something 3 days ago and was just talking about the same thing, that somebody goes into a restaurant and he's asking Nigerian, he's asking that they play Nigerian music. And so if you can't help it. If the music is being played, you enjoy it over time. Before you know, it's become one of your favorites. So can we go to the Facebook page and get to read some of the comments? And
all right. Another thing that's really interesting is how Ekosam has a birthday shout out every day. Ekosam and the boys, Ekosam and the girls. Anyway, let me say a happy birthday to Sarah Afran Sam. God bless you, big sis. It's from Ekosam again and the family. Happy birthday to you, sis. And also a happy birthday to Reverend Samson of Living Stream Consuming Power Chapel, Medina. It's from Esther, Mrs. Esther Ann Awatri. And Esther does my beautiful makeup every morning. Her hands are so anointed. So happy birthday to you, Rev. I'm sending you lots and lots of love.
So the first birthday dedication is from Ekosam, the second one is not from him.
It's from who?
The first one is Ekosam.
Yes.
But the second one is not Ekosam.
Yes, from Esther. Yes.
So it's not all Ekosam.
I said he has a birthday dedication every day.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you think that it is advisable for you to take Eko's side over mine?
No.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we have... Gomez said we have the Facebook stuff.
Okay, so they're still trying to pull that up. But yeah, I mean, we have some interesting comments that came.
Do you want to just look on your phone and
do maybe I should just do that.
Instead of stressing Gomez out.
Except, no, by the way, we also need to tell the people what's happening to Jamaica. So we were supposed to have had Jamaica on the show. Jamaica hasn't arrived yet, even though his team, his advance party, is already here, and they're waiting for him. I'm wondering what's happening to.
There was traffic.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can catch him on the Cosmopolitan Mix on Joy 99.7 FM. I'll be interviewing him, so nothing is lost, nothing is broken.
Okay, so let's go to finally. We have to, so okay, no, let's skip this one. They're talking about chess. They're talking about, why are you people? Okay, so that's the first one. Let's go back slightly ahead. If you open up this comment by Boutros Kojosa Arthur, so he's saying that at a restaurant a while ago, a Nigerian enters, goes to see the DJ, and for about 20 minutes, it's all Nigerian songs. A friend tells me the Nigerian is purposeful and is intentional with this agenda. These guys are smart. So that's something that he posted, and it tends, okay, so I have Philemon also says, I remember somewhere in 2006, I was with a Ghanaian friend in London. We went to see his friend who
Gomez, remove the emoji.
Who happens to be a Nigerian. During our conversation with his Nigerian friend, we started talking about music, and this Nigerian guy expressed a lot of excitement about Miss Bell's music, especially the 16-year song. The way my friend degraded Miss Bell to him, I was shocked. Ghanaians, we hate ourselves and Kasa. Okay, so that's let's go to Lois saying it's simply because they love real good music. Everybody would love to be associated with a good thing, especially music. Ghanaians keep lying to our musicians they're doing well, when honestly they are not. You would be surprised to find out most of the guys the Ghanaian and African diaspora are listening to are not winning in Ghana. We keep following and pushing nonsense, leaving good music behind. Nigerians have a taste for good music, and that's why most of our top charting music don't make hits in the Nigerian market. It's rather the musicians we don't hype that are making waves in Nigeria and other places. Okay, I have a different view because I know that there are lots of Ghanaians who enjoy a lot of, their music enjoy a lot of airplay in Nigeria. One of them being Jackie, for instance.
Yeah.
Jackie enjoyed her song.
Her song was good. And then she did the remix with them. Yeah.
John Liverman says, I was at a popular pub in Accra one night, and I met Agbeku, who came out of the last two camp, and through my underground artist friend, I was able to get him to sit at my table. I got him a few shots and went up to the DJ, offered him money to play me Agbeku's hit tracks from back in the day. But this DJ flatly rejected my money and refused to play anything Agbeku due to personal differences they had from the past. I was in utter shock. Ghanaians, we know how to hate ourselves, even at the expense of mutual gain. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, there were lots of comments that came through.
Yes, interesting stuff. So, just one more thing before we go. I also think that Ghanaians, we judge a lot. So we'll talk about their person, their personal life and their social life and why they are not married and why they are not this and not focus on the music. So anyways. All right, so we're done, we're going. Can I just say a big...